Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our lesson today of Traveler 4, Unit 4, Reading. Today we have a new adventure, including every one of us, you students and me. In the beginning, let's discuss what we have here. Have you ever heard of high-tech dining? What do you think it is? Have you ever been to any restaurant that uses technology to order or to pick up your food? Have you ever been to any of those restaurants? If you have, what do you think of that? Does it make it easier for you, for your friends, or just it makes it more difficult? In what ways do you think technology could change the way we dine out in the future? In the future, using more technology, do you think that is more better or just make it worse? Let's discuss that. Discussing that in 2 minutes, imagining the technology that you have ever been to in the restaurant. Think. Okay. We have also here Mr. Bob Berisco, who wrote an article about the high-tech adventures of a traveling food writer. On a recent trip to London, he said, I decided to visit some exciting new restaurants that are using technology to change the way people dine out. My first stop was at an Italian restaurant in the city center. The manager must have noticed my confusion because he came up to me and explained that I could swipe my card at any of the food and drink stations in the restaurant, and that the card would record my order. So there is a table in the restaurant. That restaurant has many tables. Each table has a screen, a flat screen. You can touch and swipe your card and choose the order you want. And that the card would record my order. No waiters necessary. I made my selection and then handed my card to the cashier. So when you choose, there is no waiter is coming to you and taking your order. There is no paper menu. My pasta was absolutely delicious, but I must admit, I didn't enjoy having to carry my food up 2 flights of stairs. So everything comes up to the person who is ordering the food. When we arrived, I was surprised to discover that there were no paper menus, as we have mentioned. Instead, the menus were beamed on to the touch screen surface of the table with the projectors. All we had to do was tap on our choices with our fingers and wait for the waiters to bring us our meal. We had so much fun playing games that we hardly touched our food when it arrived. We really should have told the waiter to give us takeaways instead. Another restaurant that I visited in London Mr. Bob continues, he is visiting many restaurants in London, was an Indian restaurant. This restaurant also had touch screen tabletops, as well as another very interesting feature, a webcam, which allowed me to see the cooks preparing the food in the kitchen. So there is a webcam. When you order, you can see the chefs behind the tables cooking and preparing your food. I really enjoyed the evening, but I shouldn't have ordered the extra spicy curry. It was a little too hot for me. On my last day in London, I decided to get some tapas from a Spanish takeaway near my hotel. Tapas is a traditional Spanish food. I had heard that the owners had installed a webcam at the restaurant to allow their customers to view the lunchtime queue online. While I packed my baggage, I kept an eye on the queue and then raced to the restaurant. When the lunchtime rush was over. Without that wonderful webcam, I could have missed my plane. I really can't wait for my next trip to London. High-tech dining is such fun. So nowadays, we have multiple restaurants that have the same technology. For example, let's see at this picture. This is another kind of touch screens that when you go to the restaurant and touch the screen and you can choose the food that you want. There is no paper menu, and you complete your payment through the ATM span that you have there. So, what do you think of the technology? Do you think it's much easier? Does it make it more difficult? For example, if there is a low internet connection, do you think it will still work or not? And now, when we have read the article, in these numbers, we have missing sentences. These are the missing sentences. So these 6 sentences have been removed from the text. Choose from the sentence A to G, the one which best fits each gap, from 1 to 6. There is one extra sentence which you do not need to use. So these sentences were in the text, but they were removed, and now we need to put them back to the right number. A, the touch screen tabletop also allowed us to change virtual tablecloths and even play games. In which gap do you think it fits? Which one? Now we go to the next one, number 2. Or B, once I'd paid for my meal, I collected it and made my way to the dining area on the 2nd floor. C, on the next night, a friend of mine suggested that we visit his favorite high-tech restaurant. D, when I walked into the restaurant, I was given a try and a chip card but I had no idea what to do next. E, I was already used to high-tech dining, so I was not impressed. F, after my meal, I used the touch screen to surf the internet and to order a taxi to take me back to my hotel. G, this came in very handy for me. So let's go back to the text. Here, number 1, we noticed that my first stop was an Italian restaurant in the city center. And then he goes to, the manager must have noticed my confusion because he came up. So there is a sentence missing that explained the confusion that he had. So the sentence missing is D, which is, when I walked into the restaurant, I was given a tray, and a chip card, but I had no idea what to do next. Then the manager noticed his confusion, so he came up to him. Next, number 2, after he made his selection and then handed his card to the cashier, my pasta was absolutely delicious. So also there is a sentence missing, which is B, that you can read here. Once I'd paid for my meal, I collected it and made my way to the dining area on the 2nd floor. So let's complete the selections. Here we have, so this number 1 is D, 2 is B, 3 is C, 4 is A. So 3 is C. On the next night, a friend of mine suggested that we visit his favorite high-tech restaurant, and then we complete. When I arrived, I was surprised to discover that there were no paper menus, and then it goes on. Here we have A. In 5, we have F. In 6, we have G. Let's read G. G, it says, this came in very handy for me. While I packed my baggage, I kept an eye on the queue and then raced to the restaurant when the lunchtime rush was over. And then let's go to the matching. In this exercise, we need to match the words highlighted in the text with their meanings. We have 7. Number 1 is selection. 2, handed. 3, tap. 4, view. 5, queue. 6, baggage. 7, raced. On the other side, strike lightly. Line of people. Gave, a choice, watch, went quickly, bags and suitcases. So, how do we answer this kind of questions? First, you choose the easiest ones. But when you go back to the highlighted words here, you can try to guess the meanings. I made my selection and then handed my card to the cashier. So selection, what do you think it means? If you have multiple things, you need to select from them. What do we mean? what do you think of from these words? Yes, right. It is what? D, exactly. It's a choice. And then handed, which is think. What do you think? Do you think it's B or C or E, let's say? Exactly, that's C, which is gave. Gave is an equivalent meaning for handed. Tap. This is tap. What do you think? We still have five choices. Either strike lightly, or line of people, watch, went quickly, or bags and suitcases. Think about it in 15 seconds. Yes, what's the choice you made? That's exactly right. It is A, strike lightly. 4, view. When you view something, what do we mean? View. Yes, what is it? It is what? Exactly, it is watch. Queue. When you enter a restaurant and there is so many customers in line, so that is a queue. Which is, what's the choice? B. It is B. Then, baggage. When you are traveling and having your clothes and everything that you need to carry with you, and you put them in this suitcase. So it is what? Baggage, which is, the answer is G. Bags and suitcases. And the last one, raced, which is, yes, went quickly. So going very fast, it's called, we can say raced. So write them down. Okay. So, which of the high technology restaurants or high-tech restaurants mentioned in the text would you like to go? So we have an Italian restaurant and we have an Indian restaurant. Which one do you want to go? And why do you prefer that one? And then, in your opinion, does high-tech dining spoil or improve one's dining experience? Does it improve your experience when you go there? Do you experience something new? Or you used to that and you can see high-tech restaurants everywhere? What's your opinion? Speak about it or write it down. What do you think? And what is your preference of these two restaurants? This is what we come up to, and thank you so much for watching the lesson today. Thank you. Wassalamu alaikum.